Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar series, the State Office of Rural Health webinar series. We're happy to have you all joining us today. Just so you know, as we go through this webinar, you will be muted, but you're welcome to put questions in the chat. Our presenters were gracious enough to answer them both throughout and at the end of the presentation. So please put in your questions and they will be addressed. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to respectfully acknowledge the University of Arizona is on the land and territories of Indigenous peoples. Today, Arizona is home to 22 federally recognized tribes, with Tucson being home to the O'odham and the Yaqui. The university strives to build sustainable relationships with sovereign Native nations and Indigenous communities through education offerings, partnerships, and community service. Again, thank you all for joining, and with that, I will turn it over to Kelly and Reggie.
Thank you, Mariah, and thank you all of you for listening to us today. We're very excited to present our program, and I would like to thank you all for what you do to promote health equity and health outcomes in your communities. I'm Kelly Randall with Raising Special Kids, and I'm joined with Reggie Mitzel from Diversability Incorporated. And we're proud to bring the work that we've been working on for the last several years, Engaging Families and Young Adults program. The funding for this program is provided by the Arizona Department of Health Service through a grant from the Bureau of Health and Women's and Children's Health through the Title V Maternal Child Health Services Block Grant. If you could go back for a second, Mariah. So you can see the logos that we have. Diversability Incorporated is a youth serving organization. They help to promote advocacy and skill building with young adults with diverse abilities and special health care needs. And Raising Special Kids, we help parents of children with disabilities and special health care needs with support and information. So we are nonprofit organizations, and we help with advocacy. And we've seen firsthand through many years working with young adults and families that the more skills they get, the more they can advocate for themselves and their families, better outcomes happen for them and also for systems they work with. And so that's why we've all partnered with the Arizona Department of Health. So you can go to the next one. Thank you. So kind of like I said, we're a partnership with the funding by the Arizona Department of Health. And the overarching main goal of this program is to promote health equity in our communities. And we do this by recruiting families and young adults so they can partner and work with organizations in their community for beneficial health outcomes. And again, this is increasing the involvement of family and young adult advisors. Many times they would like to do something in their community, but they don't know how. And also the systems would like to have lived experience, people with lived experience, and they know that's important, but how? So this program works to both ways, to help with that family and youth engagement and also help systems understand how they can be used, with a long-term goal of achieving that family and young adult involvement at the state and local level. We're a state program. So families and youth can be key partners in healthcare decision-making at all levels in the systems of care. Okay, we do have a slide, and some of the participants here are active advisors.
First group of people gathered around a table participating in a meeting.
The Engaging Families and Young Adults program trains and places young adult and family advisors at placement agencies and communities across Arizona. These individuals serve as advisors, providing perspectives based on lived experience in their respective roles, where they inform and impact an agency's services to the community.
A diverse group of advisors participating in a training with a facilitator presenting in front of a projector screen.
This program provides training to advisors and places them with agencies who value their input and experience and who believe in compensating them for their time and expertise.
Mateo is a young adult advisor.
I serve as a youth voice in the disability community and provide my perspective as someone who belongs to multiple diverse communities.
Claire is also a young adult advisor.
I have learned from other people of different backgrounds. I have developed my own advocacy and leadership skills, and I have gained greater awareness of different issues affecting various populations.
Tana is a family advisor.
The knowledge I gain from training opportunities provided to advisors increases my skill level to better serve the youth that I assist and their families.
A young adult advisor meeting in an office with a placement agency staff member.
Family or young adult advisor provides insight and perspective that the organization or agency may not have, which can produce better outcomes in service delivery.
A diverse group of family and young adult advisors participating in a virtual meeting at a placement agency.
Engaging young adult advisors from diverse backgrounds is very important because they can speak to current issues that impact them and the communities they identify as belonging to.
The greatest benefit is the direct and immediate input received from those who are most affected by the actions of the placement agencies.
I'm Dawn Bailey, and I serve as a family engagement consultant for Arizona's Maternal Children's Health Title V Block Grant Program. In this role for the last 7.5 years, I've had the opportunity to share my lived experience as a parent and caregiver for my daughter, who has complex medical needs along with physical and cognitive disabilities.
Photos of Dawn and her daughter.
I've seen the value of that lived experience to help shape programs and services here in Arizona. And because of that, we were able to help create, implement, and now co-manage the Engaging Family and Young Adult program.
More scenes of a diverse group of people in a meeting.
If you are a young person between the ages of 18 and 26, or a family member of a young person, contact us today for more information on becoming an advisor. If you are an organization or agency that could benefit from the diverse, lived expertise of a young adult or family advisor and would like to include an advisor at your table, contact us for more information.
Engaging Families and Young Adults Program. Email, all capitals, EFYAP at all lowercase diversabilityincorporated.org. Phone 602-425-5135. A small group of advisors and placement agency staff members participating in a discussion.
There's no better person to be at the table where decisions and changes are made that impact a community than someone who is directly impacted by those decisions and changes.
Funding for the Engaging Families and Young Adult program, including print, video, and other content, is provided by the ADHS Bureau of Women's and Children's Health through the Title V Maternal and Child Health Services Block Grant. Logos on screen: Engaging Families and Young Adults program, diverse ability.
There we go. So as the video showed, the Engaging Families and Young Adults program really wants to work with individuals that have diverse lived experience. They really impact the communities they serve if they're represented at the table and where decisions are being made in those communities. So the Engaging Families and Young Adults program, what we do, Kelly and I are the two facilitating the program, we make that match or make that connection between the young adult advisors and family advisors with those systems of care or agencies that would like to have a young adult or family member at the table, providing input, feedback, lived experience. So they're involving the community. So that's really our role, is making those connections. The program is also an opportunity for young adults and family members to inform policies and practices and really impact the systems of care. You know, there are times where you may be a member of a board or a committee in your community and you're able to give, share your voice. We want to know that these agencies really want to hear from these young adults and family members and really take into account their lived experience and what they have to share. And hopefully that makes an impact on how their programs are designed, how their programs are delivered. We have a lot of agencies that'll say, God, I'd love to hear from people in my community. How do I do that? Well, this program is one way to do that. Let us help provide you with young adult and family members who want to be a voice in their community. That would be a great match at your agency, whether it be on a committee or a task force or something similar. So advisors, we've said young adult advisors, we've said family advisors. So what's the difference? It's a diverse group of people from all types of backgrounds. There are really no restrictions. The young adult advisors are ages 18 to 26. So even though we say young adult, they are adults. Everyone is 18 to 26 if you're considered a young adult advisor. And we also recruit family members. And usually it's family members who can speak to the experiences of their children or other young adults or family members and their experiences. A lot of the advisors that we place, the agencies are looking for their experiences in the healthcare system or with programs they provide. So there are requests for, we'd like to have a parent provide feedback on the services we provided for their child, for example. So young adults, but also family members who can also speak on behalf of children, other young adults, and family members. So Diversability Incorporated and Raising Special Kids recruit the young adult and family advisors. We put them through training. And then once they've gone through the training and all of the onboarding with us, they're now eligible to be placed as advisors in the community. And then Kelly and I make those matches with agencies in the community. So part of the advisor training, there are 2 required trainings. One, actually that's on the next slide. But the cool thing about the training is that once young adult advisors and family advisors go through both trainings, they receive $350 in compensation. So it's paid training. And the total training between the 2 is 8 hours. So not a bad gig for young adults and family members to go through a paid training, which helps get them more prepared to serve as advisors. You want me to take that? Maybe that is my slide, Kelly. I'm sorry. So the 2 trainings, one is called Serving on Groups, and Kelly is actually the facilitator for the Serving on Groups training. I've been through it. It's really awesome. It's really a great tool for anyone who's going to be working as part of a group making decisions. Whether you've ever been on a board, committee, task force, focus group, you name it, you all have to make decisions. And this training really prepares you for working with other people, how decisions are made, the dynamics of a group. So it's really great for maybe some young adults who have never been in this type of situation before. Maybe they've never served on a committee, but it's also a great refresher, even for our more seasoned family members. It's always good to get a refresher and talk through some of the dynamics of working as part of a group. So that training is a 5-hour training, and it's either split into 2 days, or you can attend a 5-hour sit down, one training, usually on a Saturday.
And Reggie, if I could interject as a facilitator. So with families, many the barrier sometimes with families is how are professionals going to feel with me at the table? What are they going to be asking me? And so during the training, we talk a lot about how the lived experience, how valuable it is, and how you would work with professionals and some examples of that. And so they can go, they're coming in with tools and more experience talking about it and feeling more confident. So we're helping prepare them for success. So thanks, Reggie.
Thank you, Kelly. The health equity training is facilitated by Diversability Incorporated. I know a lot about it because I helped create the training and I am a facilitator, but we also have one of our young adult employees who does the majority of the training. She's great, and she can Oh, sorry, this is covering up my screen. Give me 1 minute. Okay, and she can relate so much to the young adult advisors that are coming in that might be a little more hesitant or a little more nervous about being a part of the program. So it makes for a really great combination there. The participants learn about the different concepts of health equity, health disparities, social determinants of health. And it's really so they feel comfortable with that terminology, that if you're part of a committee or a task force and these terms come up, that you feel comfortable, you know, with the terminology, you know about Arizona specifically. We talk about statistics and things related to health equity in Arizona and social determinants of health. And we also talk with them about what some possible advisor opportunities might look like and how health equity might play a role or will play a role in that advisor opportunity. Because as Kelly mentioned at the beginning, the overall goal of this program is to promote health equity in our communities, advance health equity, decrease, you know, those health disparities. So we want to make sure all of our advisors feel equipped and comfortable, not only with serving on groups, but also with some of the health equity terms and discussions that might happen once they're at the table.
So how does this process work? So when advisors were just talking about the training, during that training phase, they are asked to complete a questionnaire that will detail their lived experiences and their interests. So what things that they would like to share to help others. So they fill out a questionnaire of areas of interest. And so that helps with the matching. We know what they're interested in. And so when we have a placement agency, will be the next slide, but we'll know what the matches are. So that helps facilitate, because that match is important. And then advisors do enter into an advisor agreement with the program. So we're careful to do some background work to make the match successful. So what are the responsibilities of the advisor? Placement agencies may have a specific focus. You might have a specific initiative or something broader that you're trying to achieve. So each placement agency defines how it will incorporate the advisors into the work. And that's something that we can help you with as well, because many organizations and placement agencies understands there's the value, but how do we do that? And I like to share during the Serving on Groups training that I'm Parent Leader Program Coordinator at Raising Special Kids. So there's other organizations that sometimes come and ask for our parent leaders to help. And so I'll say, well, sure, they can help. You know, what time are the meetings? How often? Will there be any compensation? What will the advisor do? And I don't hear anything back, because they hadn't thought of it. They were just thinking, wow, we need an advisor. And so it's important, and you might not know as a placement agency, you might say, I really would like this, but I just really don't know what it looks like. And that's what Reggie and I can help you with, come up with that scope of work. We'd love to do that for you if that's something. So it can really be anything that you're working on. If you think about, you know, where could I have this lived experience? What am I working on now that would really be helpful to hear from the end user what that's going to look like? The next one. So placement agencies also enter into agreement with the Engaging Families and Young Adults program. Again, there's a discussion, a framework of what the work will be. And then you also, once the advisor and the placement agency, we feel like it's a match, we will meet, we'll talk to see if it's a good match before moving forward. The one key with this program is that placement agencies must compensate advisors for their time and expertise. And the reason being is many times that family member or youth advisor is the only one at the table who is not compensated with the rest of the professionals. And so we want to change that. And so that is a key to the program. And then we also do support you on an ongoing basis. We will check in and to provide support for you and the advisor.
So how do you become a young adult or family advisor? We have a website with all of the information about the Engaging Families and Young Adults program. And you can also put your phone up to the screen right now and scan that QR code, and that will take you to our website. And anyone interested in becoming an advisor, everything they need is on that website. They can register for training. They can watch the video that you all watched today. They can read more information. And then if they have more questions, our contact information is there as well. So we'll answer questions individually. Kelly and I will send emails, talk on the phone, or we'll even set up a Zoom session if someone wants to talk more one-on-one. So we make sure we have information available in a lot of different ways and formats. But if you know someone in your community that you think would be great as a young adult advisor, ages 18 to 26, or a family advisor, please send them to our website, have them watch the video, find out about the program. And if right there and then this happens, there are times where people register right there and then without calling Kelly or I or having more questions. They can register at that website and they'll sign up for serving on groups training, and they'll pick a time and date for health equity training. So we provide trainings quarterly. We provide 3 serving on groups trainings each quarter and 3 health equity trainings each quarter. And we do some during the day, we do some evening, we do some weekend. So we really try to have a lot of training dates at different times to make it as convenient as possible. We know people work, young adults are in college, people have kids to take care of. So we really try to be as available and as accessible as we can be. So then once a young adult advisor or family advisor registers for training, Kelly and I will see that they registered. We follow up and go through the advisor agreement with them. We share policies and procedures, and we make sure they feel comfortable with everything. So then they sign the advisor agreement. They go through both trainings. And as we mentioned before, then they receive the $350 compensation for training. And now they are eligible to be placed in an advisor role. So I want to talk a little bit, I need to talk a little bit about that here. So then what happens next? So Kelly and I largely have been filling advisor roles that have come open through the Department of Health Services. That was kind of the first phase of the program. And of course, ADHS funds the program, and across their different counties, so across Arizona, different bureaus, counties, different offices, they have determined where can we provide the best impact by having feedback from young adults and family advisors. And those offices then will kind of create, what does this advisor role look like? They'll share that with Kelly and I, or work with us on that. And then we'll find an advisor that's a fit for the role they're looking for. So we may already have advisors that are trained, that are ready to be placed. And if not, we'll recruit advisors that fit what they're looking for. So we've filled a lot of advisor positions with the Department of Health Services, but we're also open to bringing on placement agencies outside of the Department of Health Services, as long as the program still has a health equity focus, that the overall goal is in some way, shape, or form, and that can be broadly defined, promoting health equity in your community. Now, how do placement agencies get started? Well, if you're with the Department of Health Services, they really all started at once or kind of came in over time. If you are already with the Department of Health Services, you may have an advisor in your office. If you do not, you could still talk to us. Maybe you're someone that wants to be added. Outside of that, you can fill out a placement agency interest form. There's a link here, but because we're on a webinar, again, we've got the QR code. What we really want to know is, how would you like to involve or engage a young adult or family advisor? You may decide that a young adult advisor is what you're looking for, or a family advisor, or both. We ask you what kind of program or project you would like to involve them in and what would their role be. It's a very quick interest form. once we receive that interest form, Kelly or I will contact you. And Kelly is usually the liaison with family advisors, and I'm, that's such a tough word for me, the liaison with young adult advisors, just giving the work of our nonprofit organizations. So then we'll talk with you and work through it. And if this seems like a good match, there's a partner agency agreement that partner agencies sign, just like advisors sign an agreement. And we would see, do we already have somebody trained that would be a fit for your organization? That's a best case scenario. And if not, then we work through that process as well. And we'll get someone placed as soon as we can. Again, if we already have someone placed, that process will go a little more quickly than if we need to recruit a brand new person. A unique thing that happens sometimes is we'll get a placement agency that says, I would love to do this. We want to be a part of this program. And they already have a family member or a young adult in mind that they think would be a good advisor for them. So you might ask, well, why does someone need to go through this program to get an advisor? We can just recruit our own. You certainly can. The advantages of working with Kelly and I are that we have a variety of tools and resources and trainings and support that we bring to the table that will help ensure that these young adult and family advisors are successful, that they feel prepared and ready. And also it's a great help because we have experience with integrating families and young adults into the work of our agencies as well. A placement agency may want to involve a young adult or family member, but they might need ideas on how to do that or how would that work best. And that's where Kelly and I can come in and help you kind of tailor this role to be the most effective that it can be. So we provide support to the placement agency. We provide support to the young adult and family advisors. And that's something you don't get if you're just going to go find your own advisors in the community and start your own program. So we have contacts throughout Arizona to help us recruit people that you might not have. So we really hope that you consider this program if you have young adults or family members that you think would be great advisors, or you are someone from a placement agency that would like to involve that family and young adult input.
And if you think of it, the investment that you're putting into that family advisor or youth advisor, like Reggie said, if you already have someone in mind, what a wonderful thing to say. We'd like to invest in you to give you training. And the training is paid for because of the funding of the Arizona Department of Health Service. That $350 that they earn comes from this program. Also, especially with the young adult and also with a family member, you could put this on the resume, the serving on groups and training. It looks, it's something for a resume item, and they're really wonderful skills. And I just have to attest, we've trained over 60 advisors in the past few years, and they're incredible people. They want to make a difference. They're excited. And I'm always just so amazed after training. I tell them, there's so much negativity in the world, and just being with people that want to make a difference and make a positive difference is so refreshing and just hopeful. And so just really consider this program to make change. We would love to work with you.
And Kelly and my contact information is here. We've already shared the Engaging Families website, the QR code. You can reach out to us after today if you have more questions or you want to talk about a specific opportunity for your agency. Or if you're thinking, well, I have a family member I think would be a fit, but I'm not sure, or a young adult, connect with Kelly and I, and we'll talk through all those scenarios. But we'd like to share some examples of advisor roles that we have trained and recruited and filled over the past, couple years now, almost over 2 years. So a few for the young adults. There have been some really neat opportunities for young adults to show their leadership, practice their advocacy skills. And it's really been empowering that someone's asking their opinion and wanting their feedback. And that doesn't always happen for young adults. And even now, they might be the only young adult at the table, and that can be a little intimidating. But because they've gone through training with Kelly, training with Diverse Ability Incorporated, it's a little less scary. and they know a little bit more of what to expect when they walk into that committee or they're in a virtual task force meeting. So I have a young adult that is placed in Pima County, and they have a program on bullying prevention. So this young adult got to look through their curriculum and their materials. She helped give ideas on how it could be more accessible for people who have disabilities, and gave general feedback on maybe what's missing. What are some things young people are facing with bullying, whether in person, online, that might not have been covered in the curriculum yet? She's also given ideas on how do we outreach in the community to get young people to come to this, bullying prevention training. So that's been a really exciting advisor role that, we found the young adult. She went through our training and was placed in that program. Another young adult, a clinic in Yuma County, was looking for feedback on their social media and marketing materials focused on young adults. We want more young adults to come in and use our free preventative services. So we recruited and trained a young adult who really works a lot with social media, loves social media, was savvy, knows about getting the word out and how do you grab young people's attention. She gave feedback on their website, their social media channels, their marketing, even suggested changes that they incorporated. And so that was really a neat thing to see. Not only did they want a young person's input and feedback, it led to change. And they're still working on an ongoing basis. Raising Special Kids and Diverse Ability Incorporated, we committed to having advisors at our locations as well. And that money is not coming out of the grant money. It's coming out of our own budgets. We said, if we're going to ask other agencies to do this, to engage families and young adults and compensate them, we're going to do it first. And honestly, we've been doing that, but we specifically brought on even another young adult family advisor through this program. So we have a young adult who helps facilitate our programs, but as part of this role also gives feedback, looks at our curriculum. Are we engaging our youth? Are we including everybody? Are we inclusive? She also helped with a lot of social marketing, social media kind of marketing, different health events, free programs. So we really wanted to make sure that was the health equity piece was part of her role. I'll let Kelly speak to the young adult that they have at Raising Special Kids, but I'm just to kind of share another young adult. We had a young adult that is still working with the Bureau of Assessment and Evaluation. They do needs assessments every year, and they were focusing on tribal land. And so we have an Indigenous young adult who is a part of that, helping give ideas on what should be included in the needs survey, how do we promote it, how do we get Indigenous people involved. So it really can be such a wide range of roles and opportunities for young adults. So if you really think about the work you do at your organization, how could you benefit from having a young adult or family advisor at the table, sharing their lived experience? Are you represented by the people you serve in your community? If not, this could be a way to make sure those voices are at the table and are being heard. And I'll let Kelly share some examples as well of some family advisors that have been placed.
Reggie, you did an excellent job explaining. So I'll just add just a few more. Yeah, we do have a young adult advisor at Raising Special Kids, and he's part of our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Task Force, which is made up of employees and also a parent leader and some board members. And so we're in charge of the curriculum for our staff and putting on activities at our in-person meetings. And so we need his voice, his perspective in what we're doing. And we've even encouraged him to become a facilitator of one of the meetings. And he was nervous, but we said, you can do it. You know, this is your opportunity. And we were cheering him on. And he did a wonderful job. But he wouldn't have had that opportunity to be facilitator at a meeting of professionals. And so we've seen him come a long, long way. He also shares his story of growing up as a person with a disability, and the services he's used and he's employed today. And so he, at some of the things that we do, he can share with other youth, and that when they see that, they can, when you see an example of that, that gives hope to other individuals.
And did you have any family advisor placements that you wanted
Well,
to
I was
share?
going to mention the Bureau of Assessment Evaluation, and you had kind of mentioned that. So that's a high level. So this is the Bureau of Assessment of Evaluation, and they have 5-year needs assessments. And so that plan goes to the federal government. And so that's the state plan on where these funds are going to be used. And in the past, it was a focus group, which they have done. But now with these advisors, we have 2 family advisors and a youth advisor, well, even more with the Indigenous, but they're actually making the decisions of what areas of the state do we want to go out to, and the impact more upstream than just downstream, and just checking on the work that was already done. So they're in every stage of the process. And so that's what we really, the long term, we would love to see family and youth advisors consistently at this level. And so it's, wow, what did we do without them? How did we even do this work without them? And so that's the vision and what we're going for. So we'd love for you to be a part of it.
I do want to note that because of the work we do, Kelly and I, we work with families and young adults in the world of disability. So we have tended to get a lot of participants who are either young adults who have disabilities or family members of children who have disabilities. But this program is open to anyone. We want people with all types of lived experience. It doesn't have to be a disability. It can be, but you're not required to have a disability to be a part of this program. And I just wanted to note that because we are disability organizations, it's not limited. We want people who represent urban, rural living, all different types of lived experience, whether it be education-wise, life, single parenting. We have people that are placed in departments that are talking about infant mortality or breastfeeding, mother's health, adolescent health, children's health, oral health. So there's such a wide variety that if someone's interested in providing feedback in their community and they can be committed to attend some regular meetings or take part in a group, they're probably going to be a fit for this program. If the commitment and the enthusiasm is there and they're available, there's really probably a great chance that they're going to be a fit for the program. So if you're not sure, just ask and we can talk through, any young adult or family advisors you may have in mind and see if it would be a good fit. So Mariah, I think we're open for any questions. So if people want to ask a question, type a question in the chat. Kelly and I are happy to answer any questions.
Absolutely. While people are entering their questions into the chat, I want to take a moment just to thank you both for your time. I think that the examples were really powerful and we really enjoyed. I know that was going to be my question is, can you give us some tangible examples of the progress that these individuals have made in these roles? And you really did that. And that was really impactful, at least for me and hopefully for the audience as well. So thank you both for your time and thank you for your contacts and everything. I'm sure that people will be reaching out individually if they are interested or have interest in incorporating them into their roles. And that being said, it does not look like we have any questions in the chat. So thank you both for your time. Thank you everyone for attending and have a great day.
Real quick, I just put I hope I hit send. I hope they went through. You can, okay. So our Engaging Families and Young Adults flyer is attached in chat. And we do have a current opening right now. If there's anyone here from Gila County, or if you have contacts in Gila County, we have an opening for a young adult advisor, so ages 18 to 26. And the Gila County Health Services are looking for someone who does have special health care needs, that could speak to how dentists, dental offices, or even county services could be more accessible to young adults and children who have disabilities. Whether that's having exam chairs that you can transfer from a wheelchair, or fidget spinners, or maybe sensory blankets, or letting people use headphones, whatever could make a visit easier for a young adult or a child who has a disability. So if you know of a young adult ages 18 to 26 who could speak about that, please reach out to me, let me know. Or even if you know of a professional or someone in Gila County that I could talk to let them know about the opportunity, to see if they know of any young people, please reach out to me. My email is there. My phone number is on there as well, 602-460-4590. That's open immediately. So I'm looking to recruit someone, get them trained, and get them placed as soon as possible. So we appreciate your help.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your time. Please download those documents if you're interested, and definitely reach out. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.